Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. With me, I've got Paul and Max here. They just don't have anything else going on. Yeah, they're just sweet.
I'm substituting today.
You'd be here. You still come in lots of times. You know what I mean? You're here often.
You can't keep me away.
I'm fine with that. So, guys, I see very often on Twitter people saying one of our biggest issues is our center midfield situation. The fact that whenever we play Gay and Schneiderlin, they're two similar type of players. But for some reason, our combination of Gay Schneiderlin or Gay Davies or any of that, people just complain about any of those every time. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, we hear people screaming for Sigurdsson to be benched often. I saw that a lot today on Twitter, actually. So Davies just had a good performance yesterday, where I'm not going to say it was stellar, but it was just so much stronger and less wasteful than it has been in the past. He was giving the ball away way less. He was being more careful, which is great. I think the biggest shout that we hear for what we're lacking is a player who can take the ball and move it in space and cover a lot of distance and push the ball forward. And that player also needs to be a very, very good passer that can actually start playing some forward balls. Now, Davies, that's part of his supposed repertoire, right? He's supposed to be pretty good at doing both those things. And we saw a little bit of that yesterday. So our center mid players for both the defensive and typical center mid and for center attacking mid, this is who we have to work with. Gay, Schneiderlin, Davies, Gomes, Sigurdsson, Bernard, Dowell. Am I missing anybody? Who might? Baningimi, yes. Sorry, I'm a big fan of that kid. I'm glad you mentioned it. So the problem is, with a lot of those, people are saying that Gay, Schneiderlin, and Baningimi are actually very similar players. And they say Davies not always is good enough. So it seems like the solution here is to throw Gomes in when he's ready. Now, I watched some film on Gomes today, and I did some research. He likes to get up. He likes to get forward. All right, he's actually very good at carrying the ball forward and playing those forward passes. And he also tracks back on defense often. I feel like he's less defensive than Schneiderlin, but I don't actually think he's a center attacking mid. It's more of a center mid.
Yeah.
And based on his... Sorry.
Just a number 8 that we haven't had in ages.
Exactly. And that's what it seems like. That's what we need. Now, we have no idea if he'll be effective in this league. No idea. But how would you guys kind of prefer, when you kind of put all this together, what are the combinations you feel like don't work? Who would you like to see given opportunities? That kind of thing. What are your overall thoughts here? Max, let's start with you this time because I so cruelly started with Paul last time.
Well, I'm just thinking then the qualities of the player that you just listed. Then it just made me think that player is Mikel Arteta, and we haven't replaced Mikel Arteta since he left.
Good point.
I really think that's true. I always fight Gylfi Sigurdsson's corner there because I've got family members who always say that we haven't replaced Mikel Arteta, and I go, well, I think Gylfi's kind of that mould of player where he can make things happen on the front foot. But obviously, in terms of statistics, he hasn't delivered as much as we'd have hoped. I still do think that he puts a tremendous shift in and covers a lot of ground. But in terms of the returning, in terms of what he provides, it's not up to scratch just yet. Like you said on Andre Gomes, like I said when I was going through who I think our best midfielder would be the other week. I think I do see a lot of Morgan Schneiderlin and Andre Gomes. I just think Andre Gomes is a lot more forward thinking and carries the ball a lot more in a forward direction, basically. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to see him play for Everton because, as you say, like Paul said there, we haven't had a number 8 that can go box to box and make things happen. I love Idrissa Gueye to bits. I love Morgan Schneiderlin to bits. They were brilliant together under Ronald Koeman in that first season, but they don't look. I'm not going to say they don't look like they can work together, because there are games where they don't cock up or look dysfunctional. But like I've said before, they do seem like just two different players trying to do the same job.
Yeah. In different ways. That's the strange thing.
Yeah.
They're both trying to do the same role in such a strange. They're so different, but they're doing the same thing. It's so bizarre how different they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think I'm more in favour of Idrissa Gueye style of play, because, like I've said, that midfield player who can press and get in the face and not give the opposition time on the ball, I think that is the calibre of player that plays for teams in the Champions League and in Europe. Those hustling centre midfielders who chase the ball no matter what. But on the flip side to that, I'm also a huge fan of the Schneiderlin type play. He doesn't look like he covers a lot of ground, but he pops up at just the right moments and patrols the midfield wonderfully. It's not a nice situation at all, because although you've got a lot of strong individual talent, it's finding the partnerships and finding, say, we're going to play the three in the midfield, which trio is going to work. And I'm a fan of Davies. I've said I'd like to see him played a bit further up the pitch in the number 10 role, because I think that would be where it'd be more effective. Kieran Dowell, I'd like to see more of, because I don't think we've seen enough of him in the first team to make a fair judgment as if to say if he'd be a better or worse than the other options. But yeah, I like you say, Andre Gomes coming in, that could potentially change everything.
Paul, what are you thinking about all this?
I think we're not going to find our best centre midfield partnership until we decide fully what type of team we want to be and what style of football we're going to play. Are we going to be a team that presses the opposition and tries to win the ball back within a few seconds of losing it? Like, if we're going to do that, then that suits Idrissa Gueye. We're going to go at the opposition. We're going to try and tackle them. We're going to harry them. We're going to try and win the ball back within a few seconds. Or are we going to be a team that just likes to get hold of the ball and protect the ball, and if we lose it, we just put a wall in front in the form of Schneiderlin? It's what type of football do you want to play? Do you want to be a midfield that goes to battle, or do you want to be a midfield that just outclasses the opposition? Schneiderlin's got a lot of class about him, a lot of poise, and he will win the ball back when there's someone in front of him running directly at him. He does win a lot of tackles that way. But if you want a midfielder who's just going to chase the opposition, then Schneiderlin's not going to do that, and he never has done that, and I wouldn't ever expect him to do that. That's where Gueye comes in. So I think they can play together, but they have to both know what style of football they're being told to play, and they have to work it out amongst themselves who's going to do what at what moments. They can't both be trying to play the style of football they want to play at the same time on the pitch together. It has to be a case of, no, we're going to press today. This is what you're going to do, Idrissa, and Morgan, this is what you do, and you're supposed to stick to these roles. You don't kind of just revert to type and do what comes instinctually to you, if I pronounce that properly. You don't do what is just coming to you automatically. So we need to work out where we're going to play, because it happened under Koeman. We just looked like we were a mess in terms of what style of play we were going to be. Allardyce, we know what his style of play is. I don't even want to give it breath. And
functional.
Silva.
That's all he's thinking about. Functional.
That's a very nice way of putting it. And Silva, it looks like Silva hasn't quite made up his mind yet, or if he has made up his mind, it doesn't seem like it's quite registered on the players yet. We need to find out what style of play, what type of football do Everton want to play. Do they want to press the opposition and be high energy, like Liverpool, like Tottenham, like Man City, or do we want to be a team that just protects the ball, holds the ball, and just oozes class and swagger, and we are just going to outpass you? And I'm not talking Roberto Martinez type tiki-taka possession type football. I'm talking about what a lot of these European sides do, where when they got the ball, they make it count, and if you get the ball, you have to make it count, because if you don't make it count, then you're not going anywhere with it. Yeah. So, one thing I'll say about Davis as well, I've been very critical of Davis recently, but looking at Davis, he looks like he's caught between sort of styles too. It looks like some days he wants to try and be another Idrissa Gueye, and he's been taking lessons from Idrissa. He's trying to press, he's trying to get involved, he's trying to get on the ball as quick as he can. And there's some days where he looks like he wants to be like Morgan Schneiderlin, where he kind of just want to rein himself in a little bit and just kind of only get on the ball and make sure when he's on the ball that what he's doing counts type thing. So I think Davis looks like he's just caught between Morgan and Idrissa, kind of having a tug-of-war over him type thing. He's like, do I go and learn off him and try and be like him, or do I try and go over here and learn off him and be the type of player he is? Silva needs to decide what style of player we're going to be, what type of player he wants to mould Davis into, because Davis looks like he's just, his head's frazzled at the moment. I mean, he was better against Arsenal, definitely, but for the last few months he looks like he can't make up what kind of player he's going to be, and the team itself, especially the midfield, can't make up its mind on what type of football it wants to play. I think we'll see what happens when Gomes comes in, because I think Gomes is going to only fit one style of football, and if he turns out to be a player who is going to just ooze class on the ball and not press so much, then I think we'll see less of Idrissa Gana Gueye, or vice versa. If he's going to be a player who looks to press on the ball, then I can see him forming a partnership with Idrissa. So I want to see Gomes as soon as possible. I really hope that he is going to be worth the wait, because it has been frustrating. I've got no idea how close he is to fitness. Hopefully it's not too much longer, but I want to see Gomes, what he can do and what style of football we're going to play when he's in the team, because we need to make up our mind very quick.
I look at Silva's work with Watford and his style that he liked to employ with Watford. He liked to roll, it's sort of a 4-2-3-1, but also sort of a 4-3-3 at times when it comes to defensively. All right? But he always used to roll with Capu and Decore, and then that other player it would be Tom Cleverley while he was healthy, or Hughes. And you saw them playing that more offensive role. However, Decore would still chip in with goals and assists. Okay? Making Capu that more, I guess, more defensive in nature player, which is that it is in his, that's the way he plays. So, having said that, I feel like we need that connector between our center attacking mid and our more defensive. Although they may be playing level often, I think one is going to be more defensive. And I think lately, sometimes we see Gueye being that more offensive player, you know, that trying to play that 8 position. And I just I don't trust his passing enough, and I don't trust his shot enough to play that role. I don't, although he's fast. He's the only speed that we have unless we play Baningame.
Yeah, that Idrissa Gueye, he's such a strange player, because it seemed like he's got his skill set, you know, the harrying, the running, the intense pressing, the winning the ball, the tidying up defensively, and that's his skill set, that's his bread and butter. But he seems to have this entire different side to him that wants to push forward, that wants to have crack shots from the edge of the box, that wants to spray these great 25-yard passes, but those don't look natural to him. And you know, how many times do I put in the group chat? You know, Idrissa Gueye thinks he's Frank Lampard again, trying to have another crack from 25 yards, and it just ends up going wide. It's frustrating, because you want to get to the point where it clicks, and those shots from the outside of the box are going in, where them passes that he's spraying or those forward balls are connecting and they're completing. They're not with. The moment he becomes more efficient on the ball is the moment I think he solidifies his place as always being a starter, personally.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... I don't know any other player, though, that can play that 8 role besides Davies, who in spurts does do that role, or Gomes. I don't know that we have any other player that can really do that. Schneiderlin can't really, that's not his thing. That's not what he does. And usually if he's playing, we've asked Gueye to play that more 8 role. You know what I mean? So trying to kind of identify these, Gueye and Schneiderlin on the field at the same time technically can work, but if we want to actually score, it's going to be tougher. You know, that's just the way it is. To have that number 8 who's actually getting us forward, spraying the ball, you know, spraying those through balls, or actually getting it to the wing. Because Silva loves the wing. He loves to play through the wing so often. That's one of the things that I see. I do see a style developing Paul. I do. I think there's something brewing here. I don't think it's possession, and I don't think it's outclassing them like you mentioned. I think it's battling and making the most of those opportunities when we get them. That's what I see as the style. I just don't think we're clinical enough to take advantage of that yet. You know what I mean? And that's why what you're saying makes total sense. You know, it's like I see what they're wanting to do, but it's just not happening yet. You know?
Yeah.
So, would you prefer Dowell or Bernard running the 10? Yeah, sure. That you can take it, Paul. Yeah. That was just for either one of you.
I mean, it's a hard question because I'm not going to lie and make out like I've watched an awful lot of Bernard. I haven't, truth be told. I've seen spurts of him on YouTube like everybody else and the couple of games that he's played, and he looks a player, and I'm not the biggest Dowell fan. I mean, I wouldn't dismiss him completely. I wouldn't say that he's definitely not good enough, but I haven't seen much of Dowell in the past year or so, whether he was on loan last season at Forest or this season, the few times he's played, like in the Cup. Dowell, for me, doesn't look quite ready for me. But what do you do, though? It's a rock and hard place. Would he learn any more than he did last season going out on loan again? Clearly, Silva thought not because he's kept him. But if he's here, is he going to play enough games to properly develop? Short of a massive injury crisis, it doesn't look so. No, so I think it's hard to say because Dowell's the kid with youth and time to develop, but Bernard's the guy with reputation and maybe something to prove. So I don't really think there's a fair answer to that because both guys there's a good argument for both, really. But if you're asking me personally, I would rather throw Bernard in and see what Bernard can do than throw Dowell in and see if Dowell can make something happen in his 5th or 6th opportunity of the season.
It's interesting because it seems like Silva sees Dowell as a Sigurdsson clone, the way we've discussed, playing more of that central role. And Silva immediately seems to want Bernard on the wings because he hasn't played him in the middle yet at all, even though we know he can. So, yeah, I'm just curious as to how Silva views all this. But right now, I would start Gay, Gomes, Sigurdsson as my ideal trio. I refuse to say threesome.
Your holy trinity. Your holy trinity.
I'd love to see it because I just think
God, don't say holy trinity, Jesus Christ! Don't know any of
that. They all three provide different things though, and I see Bunningham as like a backup for Gay because he does similar things. And he's also one of the only ones we have. We just don't have a lot of speed in the center mid position, like any of the options at any of those. So, I don't know, guys. Is the solution to solving this in the squad, or are we getting one in January to kind of final peg? This is just predicting.
It depends on what Gomes turns out to be. If Gomes turns out to be the player we all really hope he is going to be, then I think it's sorted. If Gomes comes in and he's another class fan, or just a player who isn't bad but just isn't what we need, if he's just a carbon copy of a Schneiderlin, then I think we would have to dip into the market again. But hopefully not. Hopefully Gomes is going to be worth the wait, and he's a player I really can't wait to see. I'm looking forward to seeing him more than I am Yerry Mina. And I want to see both of them, but Gomes, I think, if he's the player that I really hope he's going to be, and a lot of people are telling me he's going to be, then I think Everton are going to look a much better, a completely different side once he's in it and he's going on all cylinders.
What do you think, Max?
Well, yeah, I can't wait to see Andre Gomes. I watched a lot of him, particularly when he was at Valencia, and he just seemed to be one of those players that stood out. He seems to be one of those players. He catches your eye, and you think, all right, wouldn't mind seeing him in our team. And funnily enough, he's ended up at us, and it's frustrating, this injury layoff, because how excited were we on deadline day when we got all these signings in, and the two biggest ones from Barcelona haven't even pulled the shirt on yet. It is really frustrating, and we haven't been given really a time frame as to when they're going to be back. We were told after the international break. They've not played yet, but as I say, I can't wait to see him play, because then that's when you're able to make your judgment whether he will be a difference maker or whether he won't. I genuinely after seeing the likes of Klassen, I'm hesitant to make a judgment to say whether I actually do think he will or if he won't. I think I'm leaning more towards that he will, because of purely out of showing confidence in him. But touch wood, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm just expecting any Barcelona signing that we get now to just ooze class and just not get injured. That's all I'm. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. I expect you to be amazing. Just don't get hurt. Because you think about it, De La Feu, he had class, but he was hurt often.
Yeah, and to be fair, one thing Gomes does have going for him is apparently Barcelona. Maybe it'll be different next summer, but Barcelona apparently it was just an absolute non-starter that we could buy him on a permanent. Marcel Brands mentioned that. He said we went in for the player and we were told no, he's not for sale, he's not going anywhere. Then they kind of called us back as the window ticked down and said, okay, maybe he'll be available for a loan. So if Barcelona are not pushing him out the door exactly, they're not desperate to get him off the books and just wash their hands completely, then it leads to suggest that there's something there, and Barcelona's people, whoever in charge, it's not very often that they are completely wrong when they rate a player.
What does Barcelona know, right? And who are those guys? Yeah. I don't know. I think we're all about on the same page on this, frankly. Andre, get with it. Get with the program. Rehab. Let's do it. All right? I think he's almost ready for first team action, to be honest. So, as in, practice. So, all right. Good. So, that's it for our midfield muddle segment. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. We are slowly churning toward 1,200, and thank you for that. So make sure you're checking out Paul on the Liverpool Echo fan jury, but also on the Toffee Blues website. He just oozes analysis. It just comes out of his pores. So check that out. Max does the same, except he wears a hairband while doing it. So check him out on the Toffee Blues website, but also make sure you check his Twitter because he pops up all over the place. It's like a whack-a-mole. You know what I mean? He's everywhere. So guys, we're gonna move on and talk about Vlasic, who actually could have been in this segment. So yeah, we'll elaborate very soon. So bye.